Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have the latest from the live radar from the UKV, looking at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days. It is going to continue to be really unsettled, however it is going to be turning briefly milder this week. Temperatures could even get to the mid to high teens come Thursday or Friday. However, as we'll see from the longer term charts, perhaps things could be cooling down as we head into the second half of March. We have seen quite a big shift from the ensembles today, from quite a mix over the past few days to quite a strong signal now of below average upper air temperatures as we progress towards the last of 10 days or so of March. Again, we are now into spring, so it is getting more and more difficult to see anything particularly wintry, but definitely could be unseasonably cold as we head into the second half of March. The operational runs, coincidentally, not really showing much today, but their ensembles are definitely on board with something a bit cooler, and definitely have seen quite a big shift over the past 24 hours. So explore that in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. If you start on the live radar, you can see through this evening things are actually drying up, but that's not been the story of the day so far. For many areas of England and Wales, we had a washout morning to early afternoon. This rain that's across northern Europe here was giving some real big deluges across much of England and Wales. Yes, clearing through the early afternoon, so some have seen a briefly drier period later on during the afternoon, but still quite a bit of cloud and some drab conditions over especially some of these higher ground areas. And you can see the next batch of rain is moving in for Northern Ireland and Western Scotland there, and this is just going to continue occurring over the next couple of days as we do continue to see these westerly winds power in. As I said though, temperatures will be on the up as it is a westerly flow, so winds coming in from the North Atlantic. If you put on the temperatures as of around 7 PM, you can see already it is turning milder, widely towards the double digits now. As I said, could even get into the mid to high teens by the latter part of this working week. If you do now have a look at the latest UKV, you can see all that precipitation clearing eastwards through the early afternoon and leaving us with thicker cloud and areas of precipitation around, and you can see the next day of rain moves in for northern and western areas overnight tonight. It will slowly try and make progress southwards and eastwards, but not have a lot of luck through Wednesday, but it could linger. Where it does, could see quite a bit of rain totting up. Through the rest of Wednesday evening, to the north and south of this weather front, it's drier, maybe a few showers around and cloud, especially towards the south, but quite a bit drier than it has been today. But under that precipitation, as I said, it is going to be a pretty horrible day. As we progress into Thursday, that rain eventually pushes through to the North Sea, and you can see all areas will start to be under a lot more unsettled conditions through Thursday afternoon. Quite a few showers around, maybe even some of them being quite thundery, but I said that's because we've got a very mild air mass in from the southwest. As we head into Friday, more precipitation, more showers, and then as we head into the weekend, again, and more heavy rain trying to push in from the southwest and just giving us repeated bouts of unsettled conditions. Now, if you put in the upper air temperatures, you can see by Wednesday into Thursday, upper air temperatures are going to be in the low to mid single digits for 850 HPA, which is pretty mild for this time of year. Good 5 to maybe as much as 10 degrees above average in some areas. You can see as we head towards the weekend, briefly colder air masses could dig in, but for most it is going to be turning milder and perhaps even persistently mild for the rest of this week. If you look at those max temperatures you see today, double digits in places, but not feeling all too mild under the precipitation. Into tomorrow, temperatures, especially to the south of the weather front, could be low to mid-teens, but to the north, cooler. Again, that is a cold front sitting there, cold air to the north, mild air to the south. As we progress into Thursday, all areas, or most areas, will be in the milder air, and you can see that mid-teens looking more widespread. As I said, locally could get 16 or 17 degrees. You can just see to the bottom right of the screen, across parts of northern France, we're seeing 16, 17 degrees quite widely. That could just about get onto our shores, but it will be all dependent on positioning of precipitation and showers. If you have a look into Friday, it's still mild in the east, but temperatures starting to cool down, but still, as I said, 13 to 15 degrees. And then as we head into Saturday, cooler further northwards, we've got rain in that brief cooler sector, but then again turning milder from the southwest. But if we do now have a look at the longer range, you'll be able to see that mild conditions might not last all too long. And you can see the southwesterly flow coming in at the moment. It can be turning us a lot milder, but very unsettled. However, into the final part of March, you can see more amplification in the jet stream, which will allow colder air masses to push our way. Funnily enough, as I said at the start of the video, the operational runs today aren't actually remarkably cold. They're all on the milder end of the ensemble charts. But regardless, still does give us an insight on the overall sort of pattern we could be expecting. You can see right towards the extended range again, higher pressure blocking, trying to push northwards. Nowhere near as much as we saw yesterday, but still enough to try and push cooler air masses our way. And you can already see the -5 isotherms trying to push in there, so turning us at least chillier into the latter part of March. If you do now have a look at the latest GM, just to compare what that is showing for the rest, or for the next 10 days, again, southwesterly winds pushing in, turning very unsettled throughout the next 7 days. And then again, more amplification of the jet stream, potentially cooler air masses coming in from the north or northeast, but not amplified enough really to pull in this very cold air that is towards Greenland and Scandinavia. You can see this big cold pool sat there that is trying to move our way, and the GFS has had some success the last few days pushing it our way, but the GM today gets close, but that amplification isn't quite there, and you can see it's just to the north of Scotland, but gets pushed away as we do see milder air pushing back in. If you compare to the ECMWF, finally this has just come out, and you can see southwesterly winds again for this upcoming week, and then eventually very similar to the GM, trying to build amplification and trying to veer those winds to more of a northeasterly, and you can see quite a cold air mass gets very close to coming our way. But the ECMWF pushes it more to our east, so it just skirts the east coast of England and Scotland here, but most of that cold air goes into Northern Europe, Scandinavia, and then off into Eastern Europe. So ECMWF very close to turning us temporarily cold, or at least having a quite a brisk, strong cold snap, but doesn't quite make it. That cold air just about getting in and then getting pushed away within 24 hours. Now, if you finish by looking at the latest ensembles, you'll be able to see that colder trend definitely appearing in the longer range. This is the latest GFS, and you can see the operational run, the thicker green line, especially in the medium range, is definitely on the milder end. It does veer cooler in the longer term, and you can see the majority of ensemble members are below average as we head into the final 10 days or so of March. Precipitation still does look reasonably high, so it's not going to be dry conditions at all in the next few weeks. Maybe in the next couple of days, as we saw in the UKV, some drier patches here or there, but overall it's going to continue to be unsettled. We're going to turn more from a milder pattern, like it is at the moment, to perhaps more of a cooler pattern in the longer term. Kind of doing a reversal of what we should generally be seeing this year, where early March can be quite cold, the end of March then turns milder as we head into proper spring-like conditions through April and May. This March, however, started pretty cold, has been milder the last few days and will likely be mild the next few days, but then could progressively turn colder again towards the last 10 days of the month. Going to be one we have to watch very closely there. If we do have a look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see the same sort of trend, the cooler trends. As I said though, because we are heading towards the end of March, stronger sunshine, longer days, it will mean that even when we do see colder air masses, we probably still get to 8 or 9 degrees during the daytime. You can see just about the 2 meter temperatures, the average is dropping down to maybe 8 or 9 degrees there for London, which is chilly for the end of March, but nothing spectacular if I'm being completely honest. You can see the dew points as well dropping. Again, that's symbolic of more Arctic air masses moving in, and perhaps, again, frosts returning as well. You can see over the next week, though, the dew points all around sort of 10 degrees, which is pretty humid. That's why we're seeing a lot of cloud, a lot of precipitation, and potentially even some heavier showers in the next few days. And then if we finish by looking at the latest ECMWF, unfortunately, again, we go and have a look at the midnight run. Again, milder the next week to maybe 10 days, and then slowly turning cooler towards the end of the month. Again, not a strong signal as the GFS ensembles, but regardless, still a little shift there to more below average temperatures, with quite a few going down to that -5 and some even going towards the -10. So definitely a signal here that things could be cooling toward the end of March. Again, we're not looking at anything major, no widespread snow or anything too severe, but definitely could be a cold snap on the horizon for the final week or so of March. We've really got to keep a close eye on it. Again, could be quite a late, unseasonable cold snap in places. Could be even wintry showers if we did see the upper air temperatures drop below -5 and get those dew points cold as well. And of course, we could see some late season frosts. Of course, frosts are possible into April and even into May in some areas, but end of March would be starting to push where many plants and many people in general would like those sort of would accept those sort of conditions. So we'll just have to see what happens over the coming days. We've got milder, wetter conditions for now, and then things are said turning progressively cooler as we head into the second half of the month. Not concrete at this stage, but definitely a strong signal starting to appear. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.